Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is July the 8th, 2019. Strong hand. Be a unique beast. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Having hype. Unconfiscatable. Offended by selling. Don't FOMO on altcoins. I don't know how anyone could be FOMOing on altcoins now. Anyway, everyone, check out the links below. Follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. Everything I talk about in this video is linked to below. And I'm also at sportsmeister.com, disruptmeister.com. You know the archives, over 1,300 shows. And yes, sportsmeister.com for all you podcast freaks out there. This is in podcast form. All my shows get turned into podcast forms, but you don't need to see these awesome shirts, but you are seeing these awesome shirts. This was sent to me again by lightninghood.com. Lightninghood.com. It's linked to below. You can get this below. It's like a piggy bank and a bee, and he's reading some charts. And I've got more of these. Oh, there are more. I'll wear another new one tomorrow. So yeah, thank you very much, lightninghood.com. And I do want to remind everyone at techbalt.com, TECHBALT.com. This Week in Bitcoin show was wild with Juan Gaunt, Phil Geiger, and Chris Black. And we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about Ethereum developers, and we're going to get into that in a second. If you have questions in the chat, type in Bitcoin Meister. Type in Bitcoin Meister. We'll have some time for questions today. Okay, now back to normal. This tweet by Pomp, very inspirational. The best Bitcoin investors are really good at doing nothing for long periods of time. Pound that like button. I mean, he's saying what I basically say. Strong hand. Do nothing. Do nothing with your Bitcoin. Don't complicate matters. You don't need to invest in your friend's business in Africa that's going to go belly up after 2 days. No, you do nothing with your Bitcoin. Those are the best Bitcoin investors, the holders. Think long-term, set a date far in the future, and don't be impulsive. And thank you for that reminder. I've retweeted that, APOMP, of course. So during Friday's show, Chris Black, who people were hating on, he's a good guy, though. He's a good guy. He obviously likes Ethereum. And he said there are more Ethereum developers than Bitcoin developers. And I said, no, they're not. Now, how do we find out if there are or not? Because the other guests weren't exactly sure. Someone said they went to an Ethereum event and there were a lot of Ethereum. It was very crowded with developers. I mean, I'm willing to consider that there might be a lot of Ethereum developers. There are a lot of Ethereum developers, and I'd be willing to consider that there maybe are more than Bitcoin developers. How about that? So again, it is clearly a top tier altcoin. I know a lot of people have been hating on Ethereum lately. I really don't give a darn because I hold Bitcoin. So it's just a movie to me, seeing what's going on in Ethereum. But I again, this is where the big boys play. So compete, don't complain. If you want to develop on Ethereum, I guess go build things on Ethereum if you want to do that. But to me, Bitcoin is the rock. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Ethereum is not trying to be Bitcoin. And I believe Ethereum is the next Ethereum because some people are like, well, EOS could take over Ethereum. Come on now. If indeed Ethereum has as many developers as Bitcoin does, then no, EOS isn't taking over Ethereum's place. So I would love to know a way to figure out if there are more guys working on Ethereum than on Bitcoin. Do they have a census? No, I'm just joking. So I really can't think of a way. We're just taking people's opinions here, but it is something interesting to consider. I had obviously not considered it before. If you were, this is Roman Q. He says, if you were to take a wild guess, how many years do you think it will take for the total market cap of Bitcoin and gold to reach? Someone asked me that before, and I don't know. I don't know. I can remember going through the process in my head. Gold is a $7 trillion market. He says drop gold. Yeah, I agree. Just drop gold. Don't worry when it's going to happen, dudes. There's no point. If you're making your decision on when gold and Bitcoin are going to be worth the same, their market caps are going to be worth the same, then you're not. That's not a good decision. That's not a good qualification right there. Okay. Clearly, Bitcoin is the future. When that future event will happen, I don't know. I really don't know. $7 trillion. Let's take it one step at a time. Let Bitcoin get to a $1 trillion market cap. Okay. So Bitcoin to be a $1 trillion market cap, it would be worth $60,000. One Bitcoin would be worth $60,000. So what? 7 trillion, it would be worth $420,000. Come on, let's take it one step at a time here. So when will it be when will it be a $1 trillion market cap? After 2021, I guess, at some point after. I don't think it'll be in 2020 that Bitcoin will be worth. What was the number that $60,000? No, I don't think it. But hey, I would love to be surprised. Pound that like button. But again, don't be fiat freak. You're fiat freaking it too much when you're trying to make fiat predictions about the future in terms of Bitcoin. All right, let's get to Bitcoin dominance real quick. Okay, there's still this people saying altcoin season's just around the corner. And now we're at Bitcoin 63.4% dominance. Now, again, I remember when Bitcoin was at 85% dominance. So I saw it come down. I saw it get to 63.4%. I saw it get to whatever it was, 30-some percent. I do say everything is cyclical. I do believe some altcoins will pump again, but man, there definitely are some that will never retain their value in terms of Bitcoin. Most of them, because there's so many of them out there, so many lower tier ones will never get to their all-time highs again in Bitcoin. And that's why you should have been holding Bitcoin and not gambling on these fifth tier ones, because most likely you picked the wrong one. Now, of course, there is a chance. I mean, the way, we've got this new player, this Facebook coin, these corporate coins are coming on board now. This could really change the whole ecosystem, where maybe all of these altcoins all of them will never reach their highs in terms of Bitcoin again. This could be a factor that I didn't predict back in the day. That's the magic of crypto. You get new things like this that happen, and it could break the cycle. It really could break that altcoin season cycle, these corporate coins. But again, to me, it's not worth the gamble. I do find it interesting, though, that Bitcoin is pumping. It's a 63.4% dominance. I mentioned this on This Week in Bitcoin shows before, that perhaps a lot of altcoiners are just throwing in the towel and turning it into Bitcoin, and that's helping the Bitcoin price. And if the more that throw in the towel on their altcoin, the more Bitcoin pumps, the more likely others will be able to throw in the towel. So it might be a vicious cycle for the altcoin holders out there, or the altcoin gamblers, the bag holders. Oh, man. All right. So, but again, if you are interested in altcoins, just hold Bitcoin. Just hold Bitcoin, because you'll get altcoins, crypto dividends, Mimble coins coming out on the 19th. Excuse me, the last day to register for it is on the 19th. Please. Big mistake there. I apologize. But yeah, there's crypto dividends. You get their coins that fork off of Bitcoin. There are coins that airdrop to Bitcoin holders. You get why pay for altcoins when you get them for free? By getting crypto dividends with your Bitcoin. All right. So yeah, good luck to those ones that we get for free. That's what I always say, because that'll mean in the long run we get more Bitcoin. But again, why people still give up their precious Bitcoin for these altcoins we get for free? Wow, unbelievable stuff. What a wacky, wild world that we live in. All right, and now it's time to talk about Andreas Antonopoulos' video that I watched today. That was about Libra, Facebook's coin. And I have to say, there are a lot of people who like to paint the Libra picture to be totally negative for Bitcoin, totally negative for the space. And I've been saying that, it's good to get new people into it. And Andreas takes it to a whole new level in terms of positivity. Okay. I mean, his take on this is so positive. And at the same time, he does bring up negative aspects, because 80%ers can get messed up by this Libra thing. Okay. But if you take the bigger picture view here, if you're a 20%er this is really a positive development. Okay. So first of all, if you guys don't like banks and you don't like central banks, you should be cheering on Libra. Okay. This is totally revamping the global monetary system. If Libra is able to launch, okay, that is an if also. Okay. But I believe that Libra will be the first of these corporate coins. So the video is linked to below, so you got to watch it. But it is a new, yesterday's video, I mentioned how CoinDesk said this is a new asset class. And I said yesterday that it is a virtual nations currency. He calls it corporate digital currencies. And he says all the FANGs are going to have their own corporate digital currencies, Amazon, Apple. And he says even Uber, which is not a FANG, but it's also a major new company, will have its own digital currency one day. And we are in this situation now. It used to, when we were talking about Bitcoin versus national fiat currencies. Well, this is a third player into the game. And it's just a game too. I don't say it's a war. It's a third player that's going to mix it up. So the nation states who were worried about Bitcoin are now going to have to worry about Bitcoin, and they're going to have to worry about these corporate coins too. And there's going to be a balancing act. And it takes pressure off of Bitcoin. It's great. It takes attention away by the sociopaths like AOC and her ilk over there. What's her face from California? I can't. The wig. What's her name? She's got a nice wig. Pound that like button for the woman. I can't remember her name from Southern California. Anyway, why can't I think of her name? It's great. I can't think of her name. Anyway, okay, but moving on here. Yes. And so yeah, Andrea says more corporate coins are coming on. I say bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Let there be more distractions out there. And again, we don't, just because they exist doesn't mean we have to buy them, and we won't buy them. And he said we just went post-national. Central bank control of monetary policy just ended. Pound that like button. He's right. He's right. If this thing really happens, people will be able to opt out of their worthless currencies in Eastern Europe, in Africa, and South America, and get into something that is harder. It is a harder money than some of these monies that are out there. Okay, it is more stable. It is more respectable. Facebook coin or Libra coin, whatever you want to call it, than some of these developing world currencies. So the whole system is revamped if this happens, which is great. And again, if you're not bullish about Bitcoin after hearing what he said about what Libra, how it's going to shake up the banks and shake up the system. I mean, I don't understand how you can't be bullish after watching this video about Bitcoin, not about Libra, about Bitcoin, because this is helping Bitcoin in many ways in terms of onboarding people, but in terms of shaking up, disrupting the system. So he said Libra is harder than 100 fiat currencies. I don't know where he got the number from, but you get the point. The new money created in this new paradigm, in this post-national system of corporate digital currencies, that it will dwarf the GDP of many governments on this planet. So, I mean, that's really putting it into terms that are overwhelming and very inspiring for this new digital age that it's starting right now. And again, corporate money, corporate coins, I mentioned it will distract, but 80%ers are still going to get, if what could happen, which isn't good. Some of these people are like, well, I'm living in this country. I'm on Facebook. My fiat currency in my country is horrible. I'm just going to do all my financial transactions through Facebook with Libra, and I'm not going to use my Libra to buy Bitcoin and further get myself out of this. They are going to be monitored. They might become addicted to this Libra, and then they could get shut off by Libra, and that's not good. You do not want to become dependent on Libra coin, and many people will. And so another thing he said is like Libra is like AOL. It's the wrong. AOL was a way onto the internet, it was an internet, should we say. It was the wrong internet. And so it was not the best version of the internet. So Libra is not the best version of currency. That is definitely Bitcoin. So again, if you remember in the internet days when you were a little kid, there were plenty of people on AOL doing it wrong. But eventually they got it right. There's some testing, and there's still some people stuck in that mentality on the internet, though, that are just dependent on all the big centralized corporations on like Facebook and YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. So, but again, anyone, you could be on the internet. You don't have to be dependent on those things, but most people, that is where they get their news from, like Facebook. But hey, personal responsibility is the new counterculture, whatever. So there will always be people, 80%ers stuck on Libra, being monitored by Libra, and not knowing any better. But that's just the way of the world. We can't worry about them. We do know that a lot of Libra will shake up the banking system, which is great. It will. It'll also hurt some of these altcoins that market themselves as somewhat KYC and compliant and medium of exchanges. No, you altcoins that market yourself this way, Facebook already has 2 billion users, and they'll be able to give their coin away for free, and it'll be able to do everything that your centralized coin will do. So this isn't good for some of those compliant altcoins out there that want to be compliant. So again, I watched the video, guys. I think especially the first half hour show it went 40 minutes. I think the last 10 minutes he gets into some doom and stuff, but whatever. There is some doom in this if you're an 80%er and you get stuck on Libra, okay? But otherwise, it is very disrupting. I like it. It's bullish. It is definitely bullish for Bitcoin. It's bullish for that that people are going to understand that currency does not have to be issued by a nation anymore. And we're going to have these virtual corporate nations out there, and we're going to have the money of the people also, which is Bitcoin, that your worst enemy can have and your friend can have, and no one can confiscate it and no one can stop it. So it's a great video to watch again. And I want to say that we've got a tweet out here, and I linked to it below, that says the Libra hearings start next week. So there's going to be, I didn't know when they were supposed to start, but rumor is that the Senate and the congressional hearings are next week. So that should be at Maxine Waters. I couldn't remember her name. She's got a nice wig. That should be quite a show, and it will be a show when they start to try to attack Libra and bring it down. And again, I say, let them attack it, but let them, get bribed by Mark Zuckerberg and everything, and let him do it. Let Facebook coin live. Let there be Google coin. Let there be Amazon coin. This is where the big boys play. I'm not worried about it at all. It is definitely competition for the banks, and a lot of banks are going down, and a lot of central banks are going to become a lot weaker and maybe even go away. And maybe some of these third world currencies are going to totally disappear also. And the smart people will be on Bitcoin, and the other people will be using corporate coins. Okay, corporate digital coins. So 123 No Scope said, and so every single person, stop watching my video now and watch that Andreas video. Okay, now 123, because I really want you to learn. 123 No, and be inspired. 123 No Scope said, do you think Libra or any of those other FANG coins in the future will offer crypto dividends for Bitcoin holders? Either way, I have a strong hand. Well, this is a very interesting question. Now, there's just two different things to examine here. Will Facebook be able to give out interest, create crypto dividends off of Facebook coin? Maybe, they own other companies too. What are the other companies? Instagram, do they own? They'll have Instagram. I don't know if they own. I forget what they own, but you know what I'm talking about. Will they be able to make other coins off of Facebook coin, fork coins off, like giveaways? And then the thing about that is they're going to try to kind of play by the rules of different countries, and I don't think I think certain countries won't be very pleased if Facebook creates if their coin is an interest-bearing coin. That's a whole nother level right there. But another part of your question is, will some of these, maybe not the FANG companies, but maybe Uber, will they decide, you know what, the way we're going to distribute our coin is to give it away to all we're just going to fork off a Bitcoin. I think someone will do that one day. I think that would be the best thing to do, in fact, for all these corporate coins out there. I think it would be it would be best for like the second and third and fourth tier corporate coins that join the party late. It would be for them to gain advantages over their fellow corporate coins. They should fork off a Bitcoin and give it to all Bitcoin, or airdrop it to Bitcoin holders. Okay, that I hope that happens. I think if they came to me as an advisor, I would say, yeah, that is the way you should do it. That is definitely the way. So I think it will happen. I think it will happen, and it will be another reason to hold Bitcoin. You get one of these corporate coins for free, and then all the 80%ers want it, and you sell it to them for more Bitcoin. Unbelievable world we live in. But very good question. 123 no scope. That kind of stuff is very exciting. If that may it come to be very soon. All right, Bitcoin Meister Roman Q says, while Maxine and AOC are busy spending 10,000 hours investigating Libra, they won't really be. They'll be virtue signaling. Bitcoin will be 10,000 hours closer to global domination. You better believe it. Among 20%ers, it'll have global domination. It will never have global domination among, I don't think, about 100% of the globe. Because this is the free market. This is where the big boys play. There are always going to be other people making up new coins of all sorts, whether they be fiat coins, corporate coins, or cryptocurrencies. It'll never be 100%. But the 20%ers should know better and should be very inspired by that video of Andreas. Okay, let's move on here. We talked about people who, for all you flippers of Bitcoin out there who like to flip, you guys, I'll give you some of you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you came from the stock world where once your asset goes up in value, you flip it. Or you were a day trader and you're used to just constantly flipping. But outside of stocks as an asset class, what other asset of yours do you just sell the moment it goes up? Do you sell your house the moment it goes up 1% in value or 10% in value? Do you sell your house? Even your rental property. Do you sell your rental property when it goes up 10% in value? You've got to think. For those of you new to the Bitcoin game, and you're still in a classic financial asset mentality, you got to think of Bitcoin as a house. You got to think of it as real estate. Okay, you can't just sell it right away. Just like a house, you don't sell just like your land in Idaho or whatever. Just because it went up in temp, you don't sell it. It's a long-term thing. So for those new to the game, think of Bitcoin more like real estate than like the stock market. Because if you start treating it like the stock market, you're going to flip, and lose, and pay all sorts of short-term capital gains tax because you bought it through Coinbase. All right, and they will report you immediately. That's part of the game. Pound that like button. And what is this? Oh, okay, finally. And this is a little bit beyond Bitcoin, so this is kind of a plug for my Saturday show. Vinny Lingham retweeted this. Partially he's virtue signaling and he's complaining. I think that people rip on him too much through retweeting this. Maybe I'm reading his mind a little bit too much on this one, but all right. And I just want to remind everyone on Saturday's show, I said 1/3 of the people that you meet in life will hate you. Okay, so if you can get over that, if you can be cool with that, you're going to be successful in life. But here's the tweet that Vinny retweeted, and I'll give my opinion in a second. Some of the smartest people I know have been so harassed by haters on Twitter that it has impacted their decision-making in life. Take a moment to think about that. The most talented people in the world changing their behavior based on what a bunch of mentally ill haters think. Now, dudes, they might be the most talented people in the world, okay? But they don't have the conviction. They don't have the self-confidence if they let mentally ill people, because he's right, those are mentally ill people that go out of their way just to hate all day on Twitter. Yeah, but you have to understand that 1/3 of the people that you meet in life are going to hate you, and many more, and they all flock to Twitter. So you can't let it affect you. And this is a message to everyone out there. even those of you who aren't creators and just read Twitter You don't even ever tweet anything on Twitter. Don't let those mentally ill people influence what you think of Bitcoin. Okay. This is what can FUD you out. It can bring you down. If this is what he's saying, that really smart people have been so traumatized by haters that their decision making is messed up. Well, surely it could mess up the decision making process of people reading the stuff that is ripping on all these decision makers. So everyone, again, get to the base of the problem here. 1/3 of the people that you meet in life will hate you. If you can get over that, if you're not given a flying darn about that, that's it. So don't give a flying darn about the haters. If you're, God, I mean, that's disturbing if it is really true that these smart people have like gone into a cave and stopped being productive because of what people have said about them on Twitter. Come on, guys. Conviction, strong hand. Those haters are nothing. You've got to have the self-confidence. So everyone out there, I'm leaving you with that positive note today. Even though it sounds negative that 1/3 of the people you meet in life are going to hate you, so let them be envious. That means you're awesome, okay? They want something that you have, and they don't. So you got to be proud of that. You guys got to keep on turning on, and just not give a darn about the 1/3 out there that are going to hate the 33%. I know it sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but don't give a darn about them. Be in motion. And that's who I bring onto this show, the people that are in motion. And I talk about jobs that are out there and people that are doing good things, whether it be little things, just dudes making their first videos, or people making t-shirts. That's in motion. That's positive. And the little thing, they are doing positive things. They are not dooming, and they are not ripping on people, and they're not 33% haters. So pound that like button. And those are the people I like. Those are the people you want around you also. Just keep it positive and not give a darn about the 33%. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, check out the links below, pound that like button, bang that bell button. I will see you in the chat right now. Click on those squares. Bye.